Hello there, welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jedel Kibra. So glad that you're joining us for a conversation, simple, truthful and biased. I'm here with Professor Herman Manyora. He puts them across in a very hard-hitting manner. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm very good.
Still on your phone. You'll never stop this habit, being on your phone always.
Somebody gave me a lift. We were going for a funeral and this in somewhere in Western, somewhere along the around Nakuru, told me please a light. I want to know I'm alone in this vehicle. Just a light. Toko kwa gari yangu.
Why so?
Don't mind call Odongo.
A conversation.
Yes.
Let's start with where we ended yesterday.
Yes.
I want to speak about the kingpins in our region now, moving forward. But we ended yesterday's conversation with you speaking about the populist nature of William Samoei Ruto's government. You're saying it won't work. Is that correct? Some would argue that it is the populists that know what is happening on the ground.
If you know what's happening, mbona unga iko juu? If I entered State House, unga will be 100 shillings or less on day one.
Some say there has to be war for there to be peace. We need to be in this place so that we can get into a better place.
That's a wrong path. It's a wrong path.
Actually, I think from numbers.
Short-term solutions are needed for immediate, urgent problems. You cannot tell me you want to empower farmers and that in the process that will bring prices down. First of all, that's assuming your program will work. But much more importantly, you're assuming people will be alive. They will have died long before the harvest.
I can't ask anything after that. But talk to me about this. Saturday's video, let's start with Mount Kenya. You spoke about Rigathi Gachagua saying you are wrong. You thought Martha Karua has this wave. You are wrong on Rigathi Gachagua. He's on the trajectory of being Mount Kenya kingpin. You believe that truly?
You know, everybody dismisses Gachagua. Even his own people are doubting. And it's not Manyora saying. Even at Karen, how many hours did they spend trying to get a running mate?
Almost overnight.
Did he ever get, he got votes? Was he being voted for? His competitor was getting overwhelming. When his competitor was getting 30, he was getting 2 votes or something near that. And he was on TV, he owned up. On Citizen TV, he said it was true. So those are not rumors. Even Ruto was asked. And so it was not, so many people didn't have, they didn't believe he could be something. But he has proved them wrong. So it's not just me has proved wrong. Gachagua has proved all of us he's wrong.
But
we were wrong.
Winning an election is different from being a region's kingpin.
Well, let me tell you. For those who are attacking Uhuru and Mother, I want to tell them that Uhuru and Mother tried to get Mount Kenya. Had it not been for Gachagua, hey, my friend, Ruto would not be in State House.
Okay. But I'm asking, does that really make him a kingpin in the region?
It means he's not somebody you can wish away. It means he's a strong man. And the video on Saturday I said, he has a head start over the rest. Now tell me who they are. Can I just Muturi? He has a head. Now he's deputy president. He's a forceful person.
Okay.
Just like Ruto, when he's focused on something, he'll get it. He's not a poor man. The only thing he will need to learn is to be as generous as Ruto. Once he does that, you can't manage him because he has the resources. He's not a poor man. He's a billionaire. He may argue, but he's a billionaire, I know.
He's a billionaire?
Yeah. If he came here, I would tell him why I know he's a billionaire.
Okay.
Even 200 that was frozen, that's not pocket change. Then he talked of 800, then there was 1.5 the following day.
Yes.
You know, so he's a billionaire. He will need to be a little more generous than he is. I don't think he's a generous man. Yeah. He's the deputy president. He has proved to all and sundry he's not a pushover. So who are the competition from Mount Kenya? Tell me. Begin mentioning them.
Before we talk about them, tell me what makes a kingpin in this, not just Mount Kenya, but in this country? What really makes a kingpin in a specific region so that we can say Rigathi is a kingpin or in
a kingpin in our understanding is a man, I don't want to say whose word is law, but a man, when he has spoken, nobody else can speak.
Okay.
Yes. When Uhuru was there, if he had spoken, who else could speak? If Ruto speaks, if Raila speaks in Nyanza, who else can speak? You have to toe the line. That's a kingpin.
So,
but there are varying degrees of kingpinship
in different regions.
Yeah. So in some areas, you have near total king, like Ruto,
Yeah.
Raila, then Uhuru sometimes back. So the others like Mdavadi, they were heavy, now they were displaced. They can make a comeback now. Now that their trolleys have gone down on mute mode. Paranya, now. So people like Mdavadi now, instead of hating me, I hear they hate me.
They hate you.
Oh, so
why so?
I made rectangular juice.
Why so?
No, but you are tired. We agreed. We are just good friends. We are good people.
Okay.
Instead of hating me, they should now try to occupy that space, which I was telling them, occupy. The Luyas need a kingpin or a leader. Provide that leadership. Because now Oparanya is
Let's take first.
Is healing from somewhere.
Before we get to Loyal Mukanya, how about the Kenyatta family? They've been there. Is this a name that can be wished away now?
You cannot wish the Kenyatta family away.
His name popped up.
The Kenyatta family you cannot wish away, but it can be wiped out. If Ruto is determined to wipe out the dynasties, he can wipe it out. But I've said in a video, I don't know when, I do so many of these things on TV, on radio, on TV and everywhere else. But I've said this. Should it ever be established beyond peradventure that Uhuru played Raila, he will pay for it dearly.
Should it be established?
Yes. That I say without fear of contradiction. And I don't mean anything. I just mean what I'm saying.
But they are the Kenyatas, Prof. How so?
Because the Kenyatas will not be finished by Ruto. They will be finished by the people of Kenya. Because Ruto has told us we want to clear dynasties. Those dynasties will be cleared by the people of Kenya. And the people of Kenya will be led in that direction, not by Ruto, by progressive forces. And the progressive forces are on the side of Raila. And if Raila was betrayed by Ruto, that side of Raila is the one that will deal with these dynasties. The really dynasties. Wacha ile ilikuwa nawekwa Raila hapo. The really dynasties.
Should it be established?
Because these are the people who made nonsense of the fight for freedom and independence in this country. Because these are the people who grabbed all the land after independence, instead of giving land to the homeless. When Jaramogi was asking Kenyatta, so what are we fighting for if we can't give these people land? The same Jaramogi, the Kikuyus have been against the entire family of Jaramogi. He was fighting for them. Look here. He was asking the Kenyattas, sasa uhuru ilikuwa ya nini? Kama hao watu tuwezi kuwapatia mashamba. Now the man who was speaking for them is the man they have demonized. And Raila has picked up from his father, speaking up for the same who are frustrated. But they demonize him. So should it be established that Uhuru Kenyatta played Raila? The side of Raila that is hurting badly are the ones who run these guys out of town.
You've brought Raila into the conversation. Let's head over to Nyanza region, where he's the kingpin over there.
Have you finished with Mount Kenya? Have you agreed that Rigathi has a head start?
We have agreed that he now is...
Anybody who wants to rival Rigathi Gachagua. Those guys in UDA, Ndini Nyore, Kimani Ichung'wah, some of them age is not on their side. Most of them, they don't have resources. Because this is Kenya, you need resources. You need the fight in you. You need the fire in the belly. Gashagua's boxes are ticked, almost all of them. You know, when I say he can be the kingpin, you can tick almost all the boxes. Kabox kamoja ka uchoyo, akitiki tu hivi, kwisha. So
I'm heading to Nyanza, and you have brought Uchoyo. Could that be one of the reasons why Raila did not make it into the presidency, before we even speak about the kingship?
You know the truth is, in many places in the world, politics and the resources go hand in hand. So one of the problems with the Raila campaign has always been the issue of agents. And that comes with money. 46,229 was the number of polling stations. You need at least 2 or 3 agents in a polling station. And they were being given like 7,000 shillings or 3,000. Whatever. You calculate and see.
About
That's already money.
120,000 people to be given close.
Yes, to be given. Even 3,000 each. That alone is getting into half a B and above. Around half a B, 300, 400 million.
Yes.
If you do quick. And that's just the beginning. So you'll find most of the time the Raila side doesn't have agents. And those they have are easily compromised because they are hungry. I saw when I was at home, hungry. Mdome mekauka, they don't have a cent. They are being told you mtalipo jioni. Now, even today, not all of them have been paid. And those who have been paid, not the whole amount. So resources and using the same.
Yeah.
And also, if you find some of the people who even left the Raila camp and went to Ruto, to KK, some of these people are influenced by money. I'm not saying buy them, but I'm saying
it could be. What is the future for Raila in Nyanza? We saw his comeback from
Raila
Zanzibar.
is beyond Nyanza. Why are you pinning Raila in Nyanza?
I'm talking about kingship in different regions.
Raila,
but I want to know, what is his future?
Raila is a global king,
Even if
Nyanza king.
Okay, you're okay, but
Yes.
what is the future of this Nyanza region? Because obviously it won't be there forever. And there's conversation of whether Miguna will
God will
come.
give them somebody else if Raila is not there. It's not like you can point at somebody.
You can't point even at Miguna.
The only person who could have, and I repeat this with a clean heart, the only person who could have inherited Raila was Mudavadi.
The whole of West.
Yes, he could have inherited that belt, the Western belt. The Luya and the Luo, the Kisi. He would have inherited only one person, Mudavadi.
There are conversations now.
I don't know why he never saw those.
There are conversations that he's going to Rigathi office and Rigathi is going to go to Harambee House.
It's okay.
Do you think he'll get enough resources to inherit the region or in this government
Is it really
dispensation?
resources? Mudavadi is not a poor man.
It's not about resources for him.
You also need to be generous. Ruto is a generous man. He makes friends easily. Ananunulia pasta gari. Mudavadi anaweza kununulia pasta hata pikipiki.
What are we looking at though? I know you want to finish this conversation because after Mount Kenya you're saying Raila is the global leader. What are we looking at in the future when it comes to the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka, Martha Karua, Wetangula, who is now third in command when we look at
Wetangula is ambitious.
Western Kenya.
Man Weta is ambitious. I would not be surprised if he upstages Mudavadi. Again, like Geshagwa and Mudavadi, Mkonogamu. In Kenyan politics, if you are selfish, like in a Gideon Moi, you will not go far.
What is the place?
Moi saw this thing easily when he was the vice president. Aliona.
Yeah.
And he used the resources effectively. And he ruled for 24 years.
Would you say the same of Ruto now as when he was DP?
Ruto saw it. He saw the open. He began making friends. Making friends, it means you meet somewhere, the one paying for a cup of tea. It doesn't mean buying people, but just buying tea. When you go to church, you worship, you unatoa sadaka nono kidogo. Sadaka ya maana.
Is this the same thing with Kalonzo in Eastern?
Kalonzo again.
And Joho in Coast?
Kalonzo doesn't have money. He's not a rich man.
Oh.
He doesn't have resources. So I am hoping the Azimio people can soldier on and support Kalonzo as a future presidential candidate. That will be natural, but that's not how power works. Power doesn't work in that manner. So when you ask him who is the next kingpin,
You've said that several times. It's dynamic.
No, politics doesn't work like that. Even this regard we are saying, he must move to inherit the kingdom from Uhuru. So that whenever he goes somewhere, he's not in doubt that Rigathi Gachagua akiongea Mount Kenya meongea. You have to make it happen. And for him, for Rigathi Gachagua, all the boxes are ticked.
The power is a different.
Shida ni mkono haitoki kwa mfuko haraka. Ianze kutoka haraka.
Finally, let me ask you this. Can Ruto be upstaged in the Kalenjin region by Gideon Moi, the Moi family?
It is possible.
We saw what has happened
It is possible.
in this year's election.
Politics is dynamic. Supposing Ruto's promises don't work, supposing the world economy continues to do as badly as it's doing, although now I hear the international crude oil prices are going down, supposing they were going up, oil prices were going up internationally, supposing the world economy continues to go up, the dollar continues to be as mad as it is being mad now, wreaking havoc on other currencies. Supposing that happened, supposing people realize you are conning them, and they rebel against you, and they revolt against you, you become useless. And in 2027, Gideon can be the man supported by Raila and Uhuru, and he takes.
Finally, let me ask you this.
It's possible.
There are a lot of trends in the world. We are saying a new monarch in England. A lot of trends. Is kingmanship or kingship still working in Kenyan politics now? And should people actually celebrate that there's kings in certain regions?
We said this and Ruto said no.
Moving forward.
He said no. But he went to look for them. He went to look for Mudavadi, look for Wetangula, look for Mutua, looked for king. He came back to where Manyora used to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do a show and challenge me, because people are challenging me on Twitter, on Facebook, where in the streets, people calling me, like one talk to me for 2 hours, like a very close friend of mine, a deputy governor, say, Manyora, you need to go in the public space and change, re-engineer your discourse. Because you talked about BBI, it didn't work. You talked about Raila, but you invited me, I want to share this with Kenya, because I never was wrong anywhere.
Maybe we should have that conversation later on, but maybe you could answer this. Kingship, will it work in the future?
It will continue to be here for a while. Because that's how we practice our politics. That's why Ruto came back to it, having said no. That's how we practice our politics. That's how our politics has been. Occasionally, somebody will come from selling chicken and get at the top. But no sooner does he get at the top than he becomes a kingpin himself. No sooner does he dismantle dynasties than he creates his own dynasty. So Ruto came from chicken selling, but he became a kingpin. Actually, it's Raila who made him. I think Raila must be regretting. He put him ahead of Ken Henry Koske, had him declared Kalenjin elder, crowned. I think Raila must be seeing as, oh, I made a mistake. Then, so he becomes a kingpin from chicken selling. Now he's dismantling dynasties, but he's busy creating his own dynasty. And that's how the world works. Politics is cyclic. Today you are celebrating in the bombers of Kenya, 2027 somebody else could be celebrating as you go home crying. In 2017, Raila and Kina Orengo were celebrating and feast in the Supreme Court. This time they were like this. That's how the world is cyclic. What goes around comes
around.
And the Bible says, there's nothing under the sun that is new. What you see has been, and what is, was, and will be. So there's nothing new under the sun. So being president or this and the other, these are small things. Being queen, a time comes you die. And Prince Charles comes to become king and he doesn't want to greet an African. And I'm wondering why Africans
went there. You just had to throw that in.
Why did Africans go there?
We talked about that yesterday. Thank you so much for tuning with that scripture. I think this is a good place to wrap up our conversation. Thanks. Until we do talk again, my name is Gerald Cabrera. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.